Good morning. Today is the 22nd of May 2024 and I'm going to go through my trading plan for today. On my screen we are looking at the ES, and before we start we will just quickly go over today's news. Nvidia's earnings is tonight, so the market could move from then to Wednesday. We have FOMC minutes at 2 PM Eastern time, and we have some oil news, and there's some news at 10 AM home sales. So 10 AM, keep an eye on what you're in, and obviously be wary at 2 AM. And we've got oil news at 10:30. So that is what could move the market today. On my screen is the ES. We're looking at the 1 hour time frame, and you can quite clearly see that we have this wedge or pattern forming. We've highlighted the highs, which happen to be all-time highs. We've came in, we put in a bit of a channel, and it's narrowing, and you can see what's going on. And maybe 2 PM today, could be about here. Maybe that's going to signify whether we're going to break down or we're going to break out. So it might be a slow moving day until FOMC minutes. But maybe also the market is waiting for Nvidia to see what Nvidia does. We're going to NQ in a few seconds. So levels for today is really hard trying to get levels when we're over at all-time highs. So I'm really watching a couple of low places really. I'm looking for the break and retest of all-time highs, 53.48. I'm also looking for the breakdown of this structure, break and retest of, it will probably be around about 53.34, but I'm also looking for the bounce at 53.34 as well. So I'll zoom in. So we've got two plays around this level. We've got the point of control, pre-market low. If we come into, that's why I'm looking for it to come into that area there, 53.33. Got lots of volume in that area as well. Can act as natural support below, and then we could look to kind of play that pattern. So that's what I'm looking at. So, and I think that's it. We could also come back to yesterday's levels. We're watching this area of demand. So same levels yesterday, 53.12 down to 53.10, that area for a bounce. We can watch that entire area all up to 53.20. We would have to break through that area. So if we break through, retest that area and come down, that's a potential target as well if it's a bounce. Okay, so let's just quickly go through the out levels. Keep it as really simple as possible. Break and retest of pre-market high, yesterday high, and that's also all-time highs. We can watch for the bounce around here, which maybe we're seeing it now, I'm not sure, but I really like it to come back to 53.30 for a bounce long. If we do break down, maybe that's FOMC minutes time later, even though it shouldn't really move the market because we already know, the market knows what the outcome of the interest rate decision was last week, a couple of weeks ago. But we watch for the break and retest of that area short, and then we've got this long area, 53.20 zone down to 53.10, and we could watch it all the way down to 5300, which is a psychological number as well. And that's it. I won't really mention the other levels, you can see them on here. We're watching for a bounce down at the 52.50 area. If we get down that far, not sure we would today. Volume wise, let's look at the daily. So we can see us consolidating another inside day. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside days in a row. But we are narrowing, but the volume's staying around about average. So there's not much movement on the volume, but it's reflective of what we're seeing. We're not seeing high ending volume, which will end it. So until we see it happen, you know, based on what I'm looking at here, we're just looking at consolidating volume, going sideways, low volume before we continue to move back up again. But we'll watch and see what we get. 53.50 is the area to watch for the breakout, so the break and retest, or 53.48. And then we've got the bounce area down here, we can watch for continuation. let's move on to SPY next. Same as ES, nothing different. We can watch 530 for a bounce, pre-market low area. If we get down into this region here, which is around about 528 to 527.30, we can watch that area for a bounce. Let's just mark that up as well. And if we get over the all-time highs, then it'll be a breakout of 3 pivots, break and retest long. If you recall, we had this level here and I went short on that a couple of days ago, and I said yesterday the third time won't be as powerful, and you can see that now. We came up, we didn't really react to it at all. We went into post-market, we had a bit of reaction in pre-market. So, and then if you hit it a fourth time, you see it have less power before finally it breaks. That's what we're watching. That's it really. Volume wise, we've got a bit of volume down here, so in this region here. So that is natural resistance, support I meant, if we come back down to that area for continuation of the trend. Let's move on to NQ. Let's just draw this trend line in as well to match the others. Let's put the magnet on. Not quite come down to it yet, but we can watch 18,750 for a bounce. This area here, pre-market low, maybe we've already touched that area, haven't quite come into that trend line. Area confluence is 18,677, this area here, and I do quite like, I prefer that area for a bounce. You can see quite clearly bottoms of candles, tops of candles, and then tops of candles, bottoms of candles, and we've yet to come back to retest it. So watch that area for a bounce. And then we don't have the same structure as ES and SPY, so let's just see whether we can put something in there. Something like that. We can watch for the breakout over this level as well, over all-time high, break and retest of pre-market high, yesterday high, long, and that's it really. And obviously we can watch a bounce down this area as well, 18,613, but this is a better area because it's an area of confluence. QQQs, let's do the same as before. That in, you can watch that one, or we can go into the second one. That one there. And then let's clone it. Let's just put that on the top. Here we go. So we've got that little pattern. We're kind of in the upper end of that pattern right now. Where's the pre-market? About midway. So we can watch it for it potentially come into that area. 455 for a bounce, maybe yesterday's low, or you know, we're setting up in the upper half of this channel, so maybe we watch for a break and retest at 456. That to be yesterday's high, 456.10 area. And then if we do pull back down, we've got that area of confluence, bottoms of candles, tops of candles, bottoms of candles around 453. We watch that area down to 451. So it's a big area. In fact, we can come all the way down. Let's just put that one in, let's clone it. That area there. They're the areas I'm really watching for bounces. No rejections really, because it's hard to go short when we're at all-time highs, and it looks like we're knocking on, taking out the high again. SPX. I'm not going to draw the trend lines in, as we're pretty sure. In fact, I will draw this one in. I'm just wondering whether we see a channel flip. Look at that. So it was the tops, now it's the bottoms. Just might as well, for completeness. There you go. So we've got our channel we're watching here. I'm sure maybe that can extend on if I'm not sure that would join up with there. But anyway, let's get back in. So we've got the 24-year trend line up in this area as well, 53.25. We've also got all-time highs, and we'll probably be opening around where we, yeah, based on yesterday, right, yesterday's open price, aren't we? No, yesterday's close. So we're around yesterday's close area. So we'll be opening around 53.20, I'd imagine. So we can watch this as well. So I don't really want to go short on spot on ES if we are above this trend line. Oh, I'm not sure what that is. That's a highlighter. So if we're above this trend line, I don't want to be going short. So I'll keep an eye on that. If we do, or vice versa, if I'm looking for a break and retest and ES has not quite got over that trend line, then I don't really want to go long. I want to wait for it to break as well. So we really want ES, SPY and SPX both be in the same, both be looking the same, so same strength. If we come back down into yesterday's low, we can watch that for a potential bounce, and that happens to be 5300 psychological number again. So we came into it, today's day 22nd. Look at that, we bounced off of it yesterday. I said keep an eye on it yesterday. Hopefully somebody took that. I took it on ES, but I did take a few attempts to get in there, so it wasn't my greatest trade. But that's it really, and there's no other places and no rejections. And the only other bounce place will be if we get down to 5200, that area, this region where the point of control line is. Crude oil, it's coming back down. I quite like it for a bounce down here. And that is around the 77 area. I've got my alert waiting in that area as well. We've got, potentially we could say this is the left shoulder, this could be the head, maybe we've got the right shoulder coming in there, or we've just got a triple bottom. So my alert's sitting at 77. I'm going to make an adjustment. I'm probably going to move, no, I'm happy to leave that there. And so I'm looking for a bounce. We come into that area. And what I really want to see is if we draw the trend line, excuse me, draw this trend line, and then we can watch for a potential breakout, because we could also be looking at a inverse head and shoulders here. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Pre-market high, that's going to be our breakout point, break, retest anywhere in this region for the long. Excuse me. And we are below the 50 and below the 200 as well. Makes it hard to go long when it doesn't have institutional support. As soon as we get over the 50, then we should see a bit of movement. So it will be a higher risk bounce until we can break over the point of control. This point of control is where all the volume is as well. And it happens to be where the 50 and the 200 is as well. So that's our. If we do go long pre-market high, we've got a little bit of resistance to get over, and then hopefully we can get above that. And that's the only two plays really. Bounce down here and a break and retest of pre-market high, knowing that we are below the 50. So it could be maybe a lower risk trade. No, maybe a half risk trade, I meant, sorry for that. Maybe add if we can get above yesterday's high, maybe that could be an add to bring back to full risk. Gold. Look at that pattern. It's been in place now, this pattern, for a few days. We're holding this upper trend line, or top of this channel. Came back down, double bottom here as well, pre-market low. So what we can watch for is the breakout of this flag. Break, retest of yesterday's high, and long. So that's the only place. Let's just put in an alert. And then on trading view, if you hold down the control and alt button at the same time, you can see that little cross. You can specify where you can then specify on the chart where you want the alert, instead of using the alert on the side. So I've got my alert in place. We can probably watch for the bounce down at this area as well. I quite like it for a bounce purely because there is a pivot over here. So we can watch at this area for a bounce, and that'll be 2409. 2410 for a bounce, and then the break and retest will be over 24.20. It's got to be over that area. Just zoom out, see if there's any potential hiccups. No, it's above that area congestion as well, and the volume is below as well. A little bit of volume above, so that's fine. I like that trade. That's gold. RTY. Kind of in this uptrend. Let's just draw these trend lines in and wave from that. Could be watching that area, just a rough idea, just so we can get an idea of trend. Broken through the trend line, but it's not really that important. It's not a big trend line, it's just one. I've not even laid it accurately, just wanted to link up that pivot or one of these pivots with the latest one. Coming into a area of confluence, bounce area here. So same area as yesterday was watching for the bounce. Couldn't quite get to it yesterday. In fact, we just consolidated really. Come back down, so we can watch 2094, 2095 for a bounce still. And again, we're above the 200 at the moment, but below the 50. If we can break over pre-market high, yesterday's high, then we can watch for a break, retest of this area. Got a little bit of potential resistance to the left, but we can watch 2112 for break and retest along. Now YM, oh, and also we can watch the lower area for a, I would say that 2094 for a bounce area as well, area of confluence, tops of candles, bottoms of candles, and we had a good reaction there last time. So this will be the second reaction, which maybe you could call it the third reaction. So just be a bit wary, may not be as powerful as that one, may not be as powerful as that one. YM, kind of still in that zone we've been watching for a few days. This area here, I think if we can break out over yesterday's high and pre-market high, that will get us above the 50, and then we can look for the retest and go long. We've got a little bit, we've got a potential target at 40,200, and if we get over that, then are we in all-time highs? No, not quite all-time highs yet, so, but I'll mark that in. I'm going to say that. I seem to be marking these places, these levels in every day on TradingView, and then when I come back next day, they're always gone. So maybe it's because I'm not saving the chart. I've got a layout, I use the same layout for everything. But I thought it was global. If you put your drawings in, I've got global drawings turned on, I believe, here. Synced globally, but they don't seem to be, anyway. Maybe I misunderstand what it really means, the global sync. But that's the only places really we can watch for a break and retest of yesterday's high. And hard to go short when we're so strong as well. And then Bitcoin. Had a big move up yesterday, Monday. Tuesday couldn't follow through, and then we lost that move. So where are we now? 69, coming into 70,000. Is that a trend line there? No, not really. We could say that's a trend line there. That's a flag pattern there. So let's get rid of the first one. Not very well drawn, but you can see the idea. We've got this trend setting up here. So, and it's in a downward, so more likely we're going to see it break down. But we'll see. Do we put in the all-time highs? No, we haven't yet. So that's the all-time highs over here. Let's go back to daily. Here we go. So, and on the daily, it looks more like a flag rather than a rejection. So you can see what's happened. We've moved up, put in a flag, gone sideways, allow moving averages time to catch up. Big push up. Couldn't quite break the highs, so that's acting as resistance, and then putting in a bit of a flag, and then are we going to see another push up through the all-time highs? Who knows, we'll find out. Keep an eye on this. And that's it really. Get back to ES, see if anything moved in the last few minutes. 10 minutes before the market opens. Back to the hourly. I'll just quickly go through my levels again. So keeping it simple. Break and retest all-time highs, which happens to be pre-market high, yesterday's high. If we can pull back down into this 53.30 area, I quite like it for a bounce off this trend line. And then if we can get down into this zone here, I quite like the bounce around 53.10 to 53.20. And if we have a big day like this, then maybe we can watch this zone area 52.50 for a bounce all up to 52.60. And that's it. Okay, so I've worked out how to stream two things at once. I'm currently streaming the order flow, which is the stream which is open right now, and it looks a bit like that. So that's currently live. So I like using order flow. What I'm seeing right now, just before the market opens, there's not much absorption here. Some bigger orders around here, so potentially with no follow through, potentially showing up you might want to go short. But it's hard to go short when you see both these are in line with each other. So that is showing a positive cumulative delta. The prices, if you put the pivots together, it's showing a positive price as well, movement. So they're in line with each other. So that all looks good at the moment. Yeah, hard to go short here when we've got positive delta like this. Let's just zoom out a bit to see where we are. And I will show you something on the 30-minute chart. I can see it on here as well quite clearly. So what I do like is all of these pointer controls all in a row. So to me, that shows me where the most volume is, and we're looking at around 53.35, and you can see it here on the 5-minute chart, and then the 30-minute chart you can see we've got, what's that, this is only last few minutes, but we can go back now to 7:30, and you can go back to 7 AM. So this entire area is a decent area to watch for a bounce. So this area here, because of these pointer controls, and that means in those candles that was where the heaviest amount of volume is, which we can watch around here as well. So we can use that as potential as a potential stop if we're looking for a long. Although I would like to see it come down to 53.32. Here we go, 53.30. We have some orders sitting here as well, and let's get rid of that as well. 53.30, so that could be our bounce area, and that's almost not far off that trend line. So worth keeping an eye on a pullback. I think that's the best play today. A break and retest. Sorry, not a break and retest. A pullback off that trend line. Okay, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like the video and it's helpful to you. And I will be back tomorrow at 9 AM. But keep an eye on the order flow, which is now live. Okay, thank you for watching.